Hello and welcome to the Kielder Observatory podcast once again. I'm Ian Brannan, and joining me in a little while will be Director of Astronomy at Kielder, Dan Pye, to update us on the things to be aware of and look out for in the night sky as we move in towards September. And of course, autumn is approaching and the equinox, and there's lots going on and things that you can see, from constellations to planets and maybe the aurora as well. But first of all, we're going to turn the focus on some of our family events that take place at Kielder Observatory. It's not all about late night stargazing. We have sessions that run even in the daytime for kids, and we call these Young Explorers and Space Kids. And we've also got one called Searching for Aliens, which is suitable for the slightly older children, but for the younger ones, do one called Rockets and More, which is the one we're going to focus on mainly because rather than me tell you about what happens in these sessions, I thought it'd be good to hear from the eyes and mouths of one of the children that visited. And I took my own child, Amber, along to experience Rockets and More recently. And so without further ado, we'll hear about how Amber's trip to Kielder Observatory went from Amber herself. Here she is.
Hello, I'm Amber. I've been to Kielder Observatory with my daddy and learnt about rockets and more. When we were going to the Kielder Observatory, we went up a really long road. When we were driving up, we were looking for planets.
What they've done is they've put in relative distance signs for the different planets, so you can see how...
Starting from here?
Yeah, so there's Neptune.
Okay.
Right, so Kielder Observatory is the sun. So imagine we're travelling from Neptune. So...
Careful.
Yeah. Oh, what's here?
Uranus.
That's right. So that's a big distance, isn't it, from one planet to the next? Right, let's see if we can see another one.
Well, at least I can read.
That is a bonus, definitely. Right, so what planet have we got to go next?
Mars. Mars. I was right.
Well, these last two have been quite close together, haven't they? Not like the first ones. And...
Earth.
Oh, Earth and Mars are next to each other, aren't they? Like next door neighbours almost.
Venus.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Mercury.
Mercury. Where's the sun?
Sun is in the car park.
When you got to the top, you saw the sun. And then we parked the car.
Right there, Ian.
I'm good. Yeah, this is Amber.
Hi, Amber, you alright? Are you excited?
This is Dan. He's very good at taking photographs of things.
Apparently I am, yeah. Apparently. My photographs are apparently legendary.
Legendary.
I shouldn't say that on there, though.
Oh, they are?
It sounds like I'm bragging too much.
No, brag. If you don't big yourself up, who's gonna?
Exactly.
Right.
Sit on the back row, just
Yeah.
on the far side there.
Yeah, wicked.
Is this a black hole?
We're not in a black hole, no, not yet.
We look at space, and what do we use to look at space? Yeah, we use telescopes, exactly right. Now, do you think that telescopes can look through clouds? What do you think? Nod your head, yes or no? A few nods, a few shakes of the head. No, they can't, exactly right. So, we love it when we have blue sky at Kielder, or dark sky, depending on if it's day or night, because we can use our telescopes to look at the sky. Now, what do you think we could see during the daytime? It's not even dark out there. What can we see? Yeah,
The sun.
we can see the sun. Well done. We have telescopes that we can adapt to look at the sun safely. What else? There's something else up there right now as well. Think of bright things. Again, go on.
Stars.
Stars. Yeah, we can. We can sometimes pick out stars. Our telescope's able to do that. Yeah. The moon as well. Yeah, the moon. And anything else? What else? Yeah.
The sky.
The sky. Yeah, that'll do.
We watched some movies about space. Space is enormous. So many galaxies and so many stars. The stars can even get bigger than the sun. Some meteorites were even older than the Earth. And they were magnetic.
What do you notice about that one?
It's
What's
heavy.
it like? It's heavy, isn't it? That's because there's metal in that one. There's iron in it. It's actually, it's magnetic as well. Look at this. You can stick this magnet to it just about. See that? So magnetic space rocks.
Is this one magnetic?
It is, yeah. That one will probably be more magnetic.
Because this one is
So these ones here, see these two? These ones have been sliced open, so you can see what they're like inside. Look at that.
It's a bit sparkly. That one looks a bit sparkly.
You're right. So what have you seen?
I forgot what they're called.
Meteorites.
Meteorites.
You forgot what they're called. The meteorites? What? And you've had a look at them with the magnifying glass. How did they look?
Some were big, some were small, some were medium, some were large, some were sparkly, some were dark. So yeah, that's it about the meteorites. Oh, I got to stand on a piece of Mars. Wow! And I went to the toilet.
You went to the toilet.
And the toilet was like a black hole. If you drop something down it, it vanished like a black hole. Ooh, I'm going down the toilet. Didn't actually happen. I'm just doing something. Ooh, oh no, I'm down the toilet. I'm going down the black hole. Whee! Suddenly number slide. Oh no, I've ended up in the bog.
Well, not many things managed to escape a black hole, but we did manage to escape the Kielder toilet, thankfully, and hopefully you will as well. Can you remember what else we talked about when we went up to Kielder before we built the rocket? What were the other things we started looking at?
Stars.
Yeah.
Stars.
What you can do, if you go to the bottom left-hand side, you see these little squares in the corner. I want you to tap that, and then you got a few options, right?
We all got tablets that had stars on them. You could swipe up and down. You could zoom in, zoom out, zoom side to the other side, zoom up and zoom down.
Try and find Lyra for me. So the one we just saw, the harp. Lyra the harp. Can everyone find out for me?
It means you can see all the stars. Some of them are bigger than the Earth. I know I've already said that. Some of them look like animals, like just geese and stuff like that. And then we went to a main observatory. We walked up a spiral staircase, or not much of a staircase, a ramp. And you could even look through the telescope and see the sun.
This filter is going to let, I don't know exactly, but something like 0.1% of the light go through. That's enough to see the sun. The sun is so bright that this is just enough. And we hopefully are going to be able to see the sunspots.
And guess what? The man could twist the room round.
And spin it a little bit more. And on this occasion, it's going to be a little bit harder actually to find the sun in the sky. I have to click on it. I have to click on this button, and then it tells me, are you sure you know what you're doing? And then I have to say yes. Oh, that's nice. Let's have a look before it disappears. All right, who wants to come and have a look?
I saw the sun.
Can you see?
Of the sun taken by a professional telescope that is in space. So that's
Big orange ball.
Those spots are exactly the ones you can see
spots
there.
on it?
They might have moved slightly.
Yeah, brown.
From this picture from
Brown
this morning
spots,
to
they're
now,
the sunspots.
but they will be very, very. And those little dots that you can see on the surface, can you see those little points? Actually, if you put your hand in front of your other eye, you will probably see it better. Can you see this big orange dish? So that's the sun, and then there are a few little black dots in the middle. Can you see them? Those black dots, they are bigger than the Earth. Absolutely massive. If you were to put the Earth on it, then they would fit the Earth would fit entirely inside those black dots. That's what we call the sunspots.
So I know you all think it looks like an orange ball of fire, or maybe a yellow circle, or maybe a yellow circle with lines on, but no, it doesn't. It looks like an orange ball with a brown spots on it. Ooh! On my birthday? Tell Mummy, a full moon is going to happen on my birthday.
You will be able to see the full moon, and this full moon will be called the blue moon. Now, it's not going to be actually blue. It will be white, just like all the other full moons. But because it's the second full moon of the month, we call it the blue moon.
Can you see?
So how old will you be in there?
7.
7. When I was 7, I was already into astronomy, but just about. I started actually my journey into astronomy when I was 6. I saw the total solar eclipse in 1999. I don't know if some of you saw that one. Yes. Basically, the sun disappeared for a few minutes.
I had to look through, I could see the moon, even though it was daytime. And we made some rockets. A plastic bottle.
Okay, and you've been up to the table and you've got some bits to decorate it. So what are you decorating it with?
Tin foil. My rocket looks like a cone.
Like a cone. Have you given it a name?
Yes.
What's it called? You want to call it Henry VIII?
No.
No. Which king would you name it after?
Elizabeth II.
Queen Elizabeth II rocket. Very good. I think that could be a winner. Queen Elizabeth II reigned for a long time. Maybe your rocket will fly for a long time.
You're such a silly daddy. I designed mine with hearts, stars, name, pointy nose, some points on its bum bum, and then
The rocket, the Queen Elizabeth II.
what happened when I launched the rocket is, so they pumped it up, pump, 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 and they did a count down from 5, and I had to pull the rope, and then it launched up, went away.
Hey! 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the final rocket put air and water in it at the same time.
Right, so 5,
4, 3, 2, 1. It blasted out water. Didn't splash anyone, but it was really good. At Kielder, we learned about asteroids, stars, meteorites, and rockets. Guess what? In Russia, an asteroid went down, and guess what? It injured hundreds of people.
Sounds like you had a great time then, Amber. Do you want to go back? Will be the question.
I want to go back again, but not yet. I would love to go back again when it's dark and see all the stars. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
To find out more about the various kids' events that are taking place at Kielder Observatory over the coming months, then you can go to kielderobservatory.org. I'm not sure there's too many of the rockets and more sessions. That's more of a summer pursuit. But there's plenty of other things going on as we go through obviously the October half term and towards Christmas and things like that. And of course the night sky's ever changing, so different events. Look out for them though, and find the one that suits you best. kielderobservatory.org. Right now, joined by Dan Pye, Director of Astronomy. So Dan, well, let's start by talking about the kids' events, because they've been going on throughout the summer. You've got various different ones, as we've touched on. Amber there enjoyed her rocket experience. Particularly, I think she would like to have seen, if anything, more of the water rockets. It was certainly a big finish. But yeah, she enjoyed the experience and did manage to get to see a bit of the sun and a bit of the moon. So that's about as much as you can hope for at 5 o'clock on a sunny afternoon, really.
Yes, looks like I directed astronomy well that day.
You did. It was very well directed. Even though you weren't there, it was still being directed. And this is you've got the night sky to rearrange single-handedly. So with those, just talk about the background of these kids' events. Obviously, an important part of what Kielder do. We've heard about what Amber experienced there in that one, but and these are events that do happen many weekends through the school holidays and so on at the earlier times of day.
Yeah, pretty much every Sunday we do a kids event. We transition away from doing the rocket launches when the weather starts to get a bit ropey. So when we start to get into Probably the back end of September, or it might even be starting September. Yeah, by the looks of things, from September onwards, we are transitioning over to our winter schedule. So that's searching for stars, in which case we look at constellations and how they're arranged in the sky and how we map the night sky. And we also do our Searching for Aliens event as well, which is all about exoplanets and looking for the type of thing that you would expect to see on an exoplanet if there was potentially life.
I think you should definitely hide. Some these like alien costumes you can get for Halloween, like these inflatable ones. You should get a few of those and like hide them in the forest, and people should go out and see if they can find the aliens.
Well, it's funny. We did actually think about ways that we can make an alien hunt around the observatory. So maybe that's going to be a thing for this year. Maybe we'll install some actual physical alien hunt around the observatory, which would be quite exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I just have this fear of doing it in the forest and then people getting lost forever and never coming back.
Well, it's something to look forward to, one way or the other. So yeah, great. Check these out anyway, and they happen earlier in the night. Of course, some of the sessions that Kielder do regularly, the events may start. Obviously start a bit earlier as the nights draw in, but sometimes some of the events start 8, 9, 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 or whatever, depending on the time of year. But these obviously are suitable for kids' bedtimes, within reason. If you've got a 6, 7-year-old or around that age, I would imagine you'll be all right. Looking then at this, you say you're transitioning to the winter schedule as such now. The nights are noticeably drawing in a little bit now. It's getting darker earlier, and of course the night sky is becoming active earlier as a result. And as we move in towards September, there's a fair bit going on, isn't there?
There is, there's a few things going on. I love September, actually, for stargazing. Back end of August into September is always the time of year that I probably enjoy the most after... I definitely enjoy this time of year the most. In terms of what's available to see in the night sky, it's always nice to see the Milky Way above head. And to be honest, we were talking about this last week. I'm very much a fan of... I know we work in an observatory with telescopes, and that's nice. But I like the night sky just to look at as a whole, rather than just looking at it through a telescope, because... Yeah, I think it gives you an idea of scale and scope and vastness to the universe, rather than focusing in on a very specific object. But nevertheless, there is still really cool things to see in the sky at this time of year through a telescope as well. Unfortunately, the hairy eyebrow galaxy has left us now, and we won't see that until next year. So we're going to have to put that on the back burner for now. But we do have some other really cool things to see, galaxies and stuff. Our nearest galaxy, in fact, the Andromeda galaxy. It's really good to see it at this time of year. So that's a definite target object. Even with a pair of binoculars, though, if you live in a slightly light polluted area and you think, I'd love to see a galaxy 2.5 million light years away, then just grab a pair of nice binoculars and head outside, surround yourself with some trees, unless you're in central London, and give it a blast. See if you can see the Andromeda galaxy. It's in the constellation of Andromeda, would you believe? And there's a really cool little trick that I would share with you if this was a visual medium, but it's not. So you might have to just figure that out yourself.
Can you act it out through the medium of mime? There we go. Right, okay. Just do like the... remember Timmy Mallett's whack-a-day sign? Make that, look up, and you might see it there. That's a little tip there. Obviously, it works better in person, but we don't have that luxury. So yeah, and in and among all that as well. So you get your telescope out. You look for that. Is it a W shape, isn't it? I suppose you'd say of Cassiopeia is what you're looking for, and some binoculars. You'll see. Andromeda there, it's a bit of an oval shape, isn't it? And if you have something a bit more powerful, you're probably going to see a lot more if you can see into the centre there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you're using Cassiopeia. The right-hand side is more like an equilateral triangle of Cassiopeia, and it points towards the Andromeda galaxy. So if you just kind of follow the triangle pointing towards the next brightest star. You'll probably, if you wander along with your binoculars, stumble across a little cloud-looking thing, a little cloud-looking oval. But yeah, through a more powerful telescope, you'd see it brighter. It's really funny, the Andromeda Galaxy, because it is actually a huge patch of sky that it covers. It's like 6.5 times the width of the full moon. It's a massive, massive patch of sky. It's just it's so far away, and that's what makes it so dim. So when we collect the light, more light with our telescopes and our binoculars, then we can see it brighter.
Now, a good day for this would be the 15th of September. That's when we have the new moon, so no moon in the sky. But that follows that.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, we're done with that one now. But it was a very big one, wasn't it? Because we had it was a blue moon on the 31st of August, which we heard about in the piece we did with Amber before, because it was Amber's birthday, the full moon, and the second full moon of the month. So it was technically a blue moon, certainly. So we were hearing, and also a bit of a big moon as well for the time of year, and really lighting up the sky, which is beautiful to see in its own right, but doesn't make things easy for seeing the stars around that part of the sky, does it?
It doesn't, no. I actually walked outside last night and I thought there was like some massive light pollution across the south. I was thinking, what's suddenly appeared in the south? Is there like some event happening with loads of like big floodlights and stuff? And then I realised that actually no, it was just the moon. It is astonishingly bright, and the sky looked almost like a dusk sky. It's quite blue. Because of the size of the moon and the brightness of the moon. Yeah, absolutely. It's a really cool thing to see, but it does prevent us from being able to see everything else. And actually, when it's this bright, I think it's not a very good time to look at the moon either, particularly when you're looking at it through a telescope, because it's just too bright and it hurts your eyeball. You need to use a special filter to be able to see the moon comfortably through a telescope when it's this bright. So, yeah.
And just across from the Andromeda Galaxy, we've got the square of Pegasus, which that part of the sky is going to be pretty well lit as well. So that's another thing to look out for just across there. If it was the same pattern of stars, really, I suppose, same part of the sky, isn't it, to look out for?
Yeah, Pegasus is a nice constellation as well. It's a big square, and it's actually upside down. So if you imagine that's the square is kind of like the shoulders of the horse, and then it doesn't have a back part. It's been chopped in half or whatever, and then there's a head, but it's upside down. So it's like a little arc of stars comes off the bottom right hand side of the constellation of Pegasus, and that's what makes up its head.
Lovely stuff. Look out for that. Now, plenty of planets around this time of year as well. Yeah. Particularly Jupiter and Saturn. They're around throughout and are a firm fixture at this time of year. But also tell us about Neptune, because that is going to be opposition, meaning it's going to be bright. You're going to need some equipment to help you out, a powerful telescope if you've got one of those, but it is going to be possible to get a good view of Neptune at this time of year too.
Good is probably a word I would use lightly in this scenario. But yeah, absolutely, it is a good time of year to see Neptune. It is at opposition, which means it's closest to point to us for this year, and it's an interesting thing to look at through a telescope. It's really far away. I think that's what you've got to remember when you're looking at these objects, is they're not very big in the grand scale of everything, and the distance to this object is just phenomenal. So it's going to look like, even with a really good powerful telescope, a little blue dot, a little blue hazy dot.
Now, I'm pretty sure that I have seen Neptune through the telescope at Kielder. I've not seen much from Kielder because it regularly clouds over and rains as soon as I arrive. But I'm pretty sure that one of the few things it's just a bit embarrassing in some respects of being the host of the podcast, and I've probably had the worst luck with weather every time I've been up to the observatory. But I'm pretty sure that one of the things I have seen there is Neptune, and it is a very small little dot, but it's beautiful thing as well, blue, it was obviously the telescope at Kielder much more powerful than most people would have in their gardens, but it shows obviously how far away it is. But the 19th is the day. So if you get a clear night and you have got your tickets for Kielder, then that might be a thing for your visit.
Yeah, and it's to be honest, it's actually a really interesting planet as well. It has one of its its moon is more interesting than the planet. So the moon Triton is a really cool moon of our solar system, because we think that it potentially has been captured by Neptune. So maybe this was a little planetesimal thing in itself. It could have been like a little planet that was just lost and then found Neptune, and they became friends, and then it started to go around Neptune the opposite way to which you would normally find a moon going. So it's going opposite to Neptune's spinning. So I can't word that together.
Rotation, orbit.
That's it. Yeah. Rotation, yeah. So it's going the opposite way. So Neptune's going one way, spinning one way, and Triton is going in the opposite direction, just for a laugh. Yeah.
And if you're an early bird, there's some planets around then as well. Venus and Mercury also visible, but you're going to have to be up with the postman or the milkman.
Yeah. Greatest Eastern, or is it Western? I always forget. Western or Eastern? Western elongation. So it's higher above the horizon on a morning on the 22nd of September. So a good time of year to see Mercury. And to be honest, actually, you can see Mercury pretty well with just the naked eye. I'm always surprised at how bright it actually is. When you see Mercury, it's very obvious that it's definitely not a star. So that's a definite cool thing to see, because we don't get to see it all that often, and it's quite difficult to look at with a telescope, because you might end up looking at the sun and go blind. Oh, just an interesting thing actually on I forgot to mention on Triton. Triton is a volcanic moon. Yeah, that's my favouriteest fact about it. And we did a podcast all about volcanoes some time ago with Natalie Starkey.
Yes, check that one out from a little while ago now. All about volcanoes, volcanic planets and exoplanets, and even the moon potentially being a volcano or raging with volcanoes many, many millions of years ago. But that's a previous episode. Lots of them. The other thing, I guess, is we're heading into Aurora time as well, aren't we? Which is a very exciting period in the northern hemisphere, and even hopefully in Northumberland.
Yep. The equinox is a really good time of year for aurora. So that's the time when we get more auroras, and there's a few theories as to why that is, but I don't think anybody's really decided on exactly why we get more auroras around the equinoxes, but we do. We get stronger ones, which stand a chance of course, stretching down to Northumberland, and that'd be a really good opportunity for us to get some more pictures of, I don't know, Sycamore Gap with the aurora in the background, because we've never seen that before.
No, not enough of them around.
No,
we need more for the collection. Yeah.
Definitely need more of that. No, we don't. Anyway, other parts of Northumberland maybe you could go to in which to see it, and parts of County Durham as well, where we were when we were doing the podcast out in the wild west of Wascally. That's a really great place to see the aurora as well, because you get a beautiful north view from there. You're really high up, about 500 metres, and you get a really good horizon. So it's a great place to go aurora hunting. Of course, download the apps, Aurora Watch UK, and keep an eye on Facebook pages and Twitter and all of those kind of places as well, just to see if there's some kicking off near you.
Okay, keep your eyes out, but we're getting into that season again where, I mean, the aurora alerts have been going off over the past month or two, but of course it's been too light to see anything, and it's not been stretching down as far as us. So we're into that zone now, over the next month or so, as we get in towards the mid part of September, certainly. We're in the hot zone for the aurora, and hopefully you'll be lucky enough to catch a show here or there. As we head into September then, as I say, the night sky's getting a bit more active now, earlier, so you don't have to stay up until the wee small hours to see stuff going on. Let's give some people a bit of a challenge then, something different to look out for, something to aim for if they've got binoculars or a telescope or whatever to hand. Something to try and find. Your little challenge, your pie in the sky, Dan Pie. Over to you.
I would like you to find the constellation of Camelopardalis. Now, Camelopardalis is quite a dim constellation, and it's in between Cassiopeia, Perseus, Lynx, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor. So it's kind of they create the perimeter around this constellation. Actually, it's easiest to find, I've found, from Cassiopeia. So if you're looking at Cassiopeia, imagine it as a W shape. Come off the left side of that W, and Camelopardalis is in that area just there. And it's a triangle with a stick coming off of it. Now, Camelopardalis means camel leopard, which, would you believe, which is the name given to giraffe. So this is a giraffe constellation, and it's actually one of the ones which is a relatively recent named constellation, so not one of the ancient ones from 2,000 years ago. This was a one which was created by a French chap in the 1800s, whose name I've completely forgotten. But it's a really cool constellation to spot. I always try and challenge myself to spot it from the dark sky park, so I dare say you probably need a really good dark sky to really spot it. I've not tried from a really light polluted area, but give it a go, see if you can see it. Take a photograph, draw some lines around it, see if you can identify it that way, and then tag us in it on the social medias.
There you go. So, Camelopardalis is the one.
Camelopardalis.
Look out for that one, and we'll see how you get on this time next month, and we'll give you another challenge. But that's about it for this month. Hope you enjoyed it. Of course, to find out more about things that are happening at Kielder Observatory and to book an event of your choice, then there's plenty available for the months ahead. In fact, I think pretty much the most part of the year ahead. There's lots to go at. Online, kielderobservatory.org. See what's available, and then maybe you might want to factor in a bigger break around it. But all the details available for all of the events right now, kielderobservatory.org, and we'll catch you next month on the next episode of the Kielder Observatory podcast. Goodbye.